Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here when I didn't think I would be because I actually am recovering from surgery, as you may have seen in my newsletter. However, I wanted to take the time to do something for me, some self-care, and believe it or not, with my Mars and Gemini, what self-care looks like is actually doing something. Resting and doing nothing isn't my style. So I have made the effort to come on here this evening and talk to you about the strawberry moon on the 11th of June, which is also known as the honeymoon, the horse moon, or the rose moon, and that is of course coming up just in a few days' time. So this is actually going to be a low setting moon in the skies, so if you do like to just observe the moon anyway, then this will be one that you want to see, because she will be looking very full and sitting very low and looking very impressive. So certainly get your cameras out for that. So before I head into what this moon is potentially going to do for you, I do want to talk about the sun first, because I do think, as I mentioned in the last video, it's important to look at what is happening as a whole rather than just taking one thing. And whilst I am not a certified astrologer by any means, it is certainly a fascination of mine and something that I am taking the time to learn as and when I can. So at the moment we are in the sign of Gemini. So this is the sign that is known as the twins, meaning it has a duality, two sides, Jekyll and Hyde. You may have heard sort of similar phrases being used for the sign of Gemini. But they are a very intelligent sign. This is a sign that rules the mind. They are governed by the element of air and they are ruled by Mercury. This is all very communicative features, and Gemini has all of them. They're a very confident sign as well a lot of the time. You know, a Gemini doesn't necessarily need to have friends or be around people to be sociable. They will work the room and they will just take charge of things as they see anyway. But remember, because this is an intelligent sign that likes information, this is a very natural thing for them to do, because they will want to harbour everything they can about the people that they are around. They want to take notes and remember who's who, who's doing what. Kind of similar to how a Scorpio would do it, but I guess less stalkery. But of course, with this duality of Gemini, with the light part also comes the darker part as well. So this is a sign that can go from being very up, very happy, to suddenly very down, very sullen, very depressed. Middle grounds may not exist for Gemini people as a whole. They might find it difficult to not be all or nothing, because it's just how they're programmed to be. They are, as I've said, they are sociable. It doesn't necessarily mean that they go out of their way to go out partying or whatever all the time, but generally in a social environment they get on okay. But let's not forget that they do work with the mind. So with the mind comes mental health. So of course you may be thinking, well, I'm a Gemini and I have anxiety. I don't like being in social sort of predicaments or big crowds or whatever. I'm not taking that away from you. What I'm trying to say is that if you had to be, you would be fine. You are born to be that way. You are born to be sociable. But of course, with such an intelligent mind comes the gift or the curse of overthinking and being able to be very receptive. But they do enjoy puzzles and problem solving. Lots of Geminis, you will find them, they like crosswords, they like Sudokus, they like to play games online or play chess, whatever it is. They like to solve problems, and this may come from the feeling that a lot of the time they feel they can't solve their own problems. But if they can solve something else, it still feeds that very intelligent part of their mind. What they fail to recognise is the lack of control, or the lack of why am I not doing better, comes from the fact that they are constantly thinking, that their mind is in overdrive. Now Geminis, they can be quite bipolar. Out of all of the signs, this is probably the one that I would attribute that most to. So if you have Gemini placements, you may have a tendency to have those sorts of traits or possibly be diagnosed with something similar to that. As I've said, it is very much a sign that is ruled with mental health, the mind, and how we look after it and how we listen to it. And with it being ruled by Mercury, again, it's communicating those things, and sometimes people may not understand you. So where does the moon come into all of this? Well, the moon is obviously in the polarity of Gemini, which is Sagittarius. So this upcoming moon on the 11th, the Sagittarius strawberry moon, this is about embracing those good parts, I would say, of the sun, and looking at what Sagittarius emotionally can do, what it can bring out for you. So we're talking business ventures, we're talking sport, athleticism in all of its forms, and whether this is something gentle such as Tai Chi or walking, or something extreme such as boxing or, I don't know, skydiving. It can be whatever end of the spectrum it needs to be at, but just know that Sagittarius does rule exercise quite heavily. It likes to look after the body, it likes to feel the body moving, and actually Gemini Mars placements are very similar, but we have to do it in a more gentle way. But this is where this moon can really bring that out for you, and I have to say I have been feeling the very early effects of it, even though I'm myself only a month into my recovery and I've got another 2 months to go. I am feeling that pull just to be gentle, to move gently again. So this is something, if you have also had a procedure recently or you are recovering from an injury, using this moon, this energy, whether it be as extreme or very soft, would be a really good time just to test yourself. Pace yourself, but just test yourself, see what you can start to do again. Now, of course, Sagittarius is the sign of freedom. They are notoriously known for not being able to be tied down. And why would they need to be when they are the sign that teaches us about freedom, about philosophy, and about the things that the world has to give us? This is a sign that loves to learn. They're very creative thinkers, and they're quite impulsive. So if they have a notion to do something, they will most likely do it. But there'll be almost a creative, philosophical purpose for it. And that is what feeds them. They are very inventive and they are very artistic. And I would say they are politically artistic because they love to learn and because they like to feed into the knowledge of the world. They have lots of opinions. But depending on other placements, shall we say, they may not necessarily follow through with learning everything they need to learn about said topic. And some of their opinions could be formed in a more artistic manner rather than factually. But of course, that is all dependent on the person and their chart. When it comes to animals, they are ruled by horses. Obviously, Sagittarius is the centaur, and this moon has a name of being the horse moon as well in Celtic and European lore, I believe. But Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So actually this is going to be a really, really lucky time coming up, because Jupiter, of course, is the planet of luck. So if you are hoping to get a last minute flight, if you are hoping to take a holiday somewhere, if you're hoping to learn something new, or maybe you just want to really feed into your creative endeavours again, you've got this moon to help you feel more emotionally fulfilled in all of those areas. But don't forget to tap into the parts of that Gemini sun, just as a little sort of sprinkling on top, as to what it can offer you. And then after that, 10 days after that, we have the summer solstice coming up. So this is on the 21st of June. Summer solstice is obviously the time when the sun is at his peak, he's at his zenith, and we give thanks to the sun god for his light, for his warmth, for the ability to help us grow crops, for the ability for us to exist and for the world to be as it is. Without the sun, we have nothing. And the solstice, of course, is a really good time to spend with friends. It's a very sociable event. And of course, with it being on that cusp of Gemini Cancer, you have the social aspect, the fun aspect of Gemini coming into Cancer, which is about loving and it's about being close with those that you really care about. So I hope that you manage to spend time with said people in your life on the summer solstice. Try and use some warm colours, maybe some yellows, some oranges, reds, gold. Bring those aspects into your life. Daisies, sunflowers, chamomile, happy flowers are what you'll want around you for this event. And citrus fruits if you can have them. Maybe have a little picnic with those that you love. But I hope that has been useful for you. I'm just checking. Oh, nice 10-minute video, so I'll probably wrap it up in a second. As for when I will be back at work, again, I don't know at the moment. Recovery comes first. But it is always a pleasure to hear from all of you. The first video that I put out last month, I received so many lovely, kind emails, and they've really cheered me up. So please don't be afraid to stay in touch. Let me know how you are doing and how you're celebrating not only the moon but the solstice and any upcoming sabbatical plans that you might have. But until then, I will see you probably next month for the next full moon. Until then, take care, look after yourself, and use this energy to revitalize you. Take care.